Dick Wrong. Dick Wrong is the gift that keeps on giving. Otherwise known as, his stage name is Nick Wright. We call him, his IDD name is Dick Wrong. And he was wrong again. Boy, was he wrong again. I'll give it to him. When he swings for the fence.
No, he commits.
Oh, he commits.
He commits to the bit.
I mean, he misses, like you read about.
He commits to the bit.
Dick Wrong is like watching Charlie Brown's baseball team. That's what it is. And if you don't know what that is, go watch Peanuts and watch Charlie Brown's baseball team just get throttled 108-0 in 6 innings. And that's Dick Wrong right there.
That's out of their outfit.
Oh my God! Charlie Brown throws one pitch and he's naked on the mound. And after 4 of those, Schroeder goes, Charlie Brown, you have to quit throwing the same pitch because every time you do, your laundry ends up all over the field and we'll never get out of the first inning.
That's basically Patrick Mahomes last night.
But the fact that Schroeder comes out all series goes, Charlie Brown, throw something different because I...
All right, to basketball.
Anyway, segment 2, IDD, for those who I don't disagree, the redoubtable one, the highly questionable one. Segment 2, Saturday night in the what'd you call it, the Mecca? Mecca my ass.
The Mecca!
It's never...
it's the Mecca! We haven't won since 73.
This is where I get on New Yorkers because this is the one time...
It's a great arena.
That they sound like Dallas Cowboy fans.
It's a great arena.
America's team. Fuck you, America's team. You haven't mattered in 30 years. The Mecca hasn't mattered in 50 years. Well, fucking nobody gives a fuck. You haven't mattered since the year before I was born. I am the jinx of the New York Knicks.
Do I need to kill you?
Pricks live forever.
Yeah, but not if I off you in your sleep.
They'd know it's you because this is all being recorded.
Yeah, but if it means championship,
actually, if you off me, you could set the curse where the Celtics go on an epic run and win like 6 in a row.
Dear.
That would be worse. Go ahead, do it.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Anyway,
that could happen now if those idiots played good.
As I said to Anthony, who I used to work with, good guy, a Knicks fan, because he texted me saying the Celtics are still the Knicks' daddy. I said, look, it's February. You caught them after a loss, an embarrassing loss, I might add. And he called it. The Celtics were going to respond.
I knew it.
Because they were on ESPN, and they just embarrassed themselves at home against a team they beat by 30 on their floor a month ago. And they were missing 3 starters. So, yeah, this is why I get mad at the Celtics, because this is what this should. And by the way, tonight they took care of Miami by 20, and they were missing guys. But Tatum just said enough and didn't fuck around. Okay, fine. But they're costing themselves games. They're costing themselves seeds in the playoffs. And in the playoffs, everything gets ratcheted up.
They're making it harder.
They're making it a lot harder on themselves. If they lose, this will be the exact reason why. I trust me on this. So, yeah, they came out and bitch slapped the Knicks. Tatum at 40.
God, he was just destroyed.
They played defense. Tonight they won because, they did it again tonight. They shot 52 threes. They only hit 17. They only went to the line 8-9 times. But they played defense. They held them to like 70 or 80 points. So if you're going to at least play defense, okay. But when they don't do any of that, it's all based on are they making threes or not. That's when you go crazy. So
here's the part as a Knicks fan that's tough. Okay, so as is, with everything even, the Celtics are a terrible matchup for the Knicks.
They are.
It is it's the worst matchup you could think of in terms of size, athleticism.
Well, they've got 2 for every. They've got 2 for every one.
Yeah.
You've got Brunson. They've got
right.
White and Holiday.
Exactly.
You've got Anunoby. They've got Tatum and Brown.
Right.
You've got you've got what's his name, Caldwell. What's his name, Jones there? No, what's his name?
Carl Anthony
Towns. They've got Kristaps and Al Horford.
Yeah.
So for every one, they've got Boston has 2.
And Kata apparently because Cat's too soft to go against Kata.
Nehemiah's Kata is
Here's the thing. So being that's the situation when everything's equal. Y'all being without Porzingis, you don't even feel that. No. Us being without OG, it's like, oh my God. We already had a bad matchup, and with him out, that's bad. But
at least he can defend one of them.
Right. He can make it so
work.
It's not because remember, and the thing we were talking about last week, we can't defend the pick and roll.
No.
Especially when Jalen Brunson gets put in it.
And the Celtics know
and
that.
they just exploited that every fucking play. And Jalen Brunson was getting on my nerves. Because, okay, I understand a guy's bigger than you, but come on, man. I mean, if he backed you down, that's one thing.
Yeah.
The big guys were running right by him.
Yeah, they kind of were.
And he's Olaying.
Yeah.
And then Karl Anthony Towns, he didn't know whether he should show or stay back.
Yeah.
And he would get caught in the middle. And how many times did Tatum just walk by him and two-hand
I
dunk?
don't know why Tibbs, because Tibbs is a very good defensive mind.
How has he not taught them how to defend this better?
I have said this. I said on the last show that we did together, where I said there's only really one way to defend that when you've got a small
guard,
is you've got to trap it,
right?
And you've got to get it out of. You got to back the guy up and make him throw over it, and then you run help to the slide, and then you rotate around to the shooter to get out of it. There is a way to do this, and I can show it to you on a piece of paper, and he'd probably get it before you would because we could.
No, I get it totally. We've talked about it enough.
So, but why Tibbs is not doing this when every team attacks the Knicks the same way?
Any smart team
does this on offense. So, like, they got a very small point guard. Let's run him off 10 or 12 of these and see how his legs are in the second half. It's like, it's smart basketball, but the thing is he knows it's coming. He should know it's coming.
The crazy part is that's how other teams defend our pick and roll.
Yeah, they trap it because he's small.
They blitz Brunson.
Yeah, he's small. And
then he's got to try to figure out a way through it.
He's going to back up.
And so it's like you're watching it happen to you every night, but somehow you don't go, maybe we should try that. It's really weird.
I guess let me ask you this. You know that team better than me. Is it a matter of do they being the Knicks now that they don't? I don't know this. I'm guessing that the reason they don't run the trap off the screen is because they don't think their help defense is quick enough to recover or to take the roll away. I mean, because the only reason you don't do
because Josh Hart is quick enough to recover.
I know he is.
OG Anunoby is quick enough to recover. I mean, they've got quick guys.
Okay. What about Towns though? Is he quick enough to recover?
But see, Towns is going to be Towns is the one in the
trap.
Pick and roll. So
is he quick enough to close the trap? Maybe.
Well, he's not
because that's the other thing.
Towns athletically is. He's not like Tatum, obviously.
No.
He's not like Porzingis. No. He's a little, lumbering.
Yeah, he's lumbering. He's not got a first
He can
step.
go by some of those statue tall guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not stuck in the mud. Mm-hmm. But yeah, maybe that's part of it. But
I'm just saying.
To me, Brunson never fights over the screen hard enough. Mm. And then the back guy is always caught in between. And it's like, let's decide how we're going to defend this before the game.
Here's the problem with Brunson fighting over the screen. It's not that he can't do that, but if he's on their hip, he's beat because he's too little to block. But my thing is, he's got to get in front of.
But if he fights over the screen and then Cat pushes up, now you got the trap, right? Isn't that how you run the trap?
What you would ideally do is as soon as the guy who's setting the screen comes up, you want to have Cat over it already. So before the guy
he's on the other side.
He's already there. So before the point guard even thinks, the guy's already running at it. Well, so
I guess the tough part about that though is that Brunson's small, so they can pass.
But it also becomes a switch, because what happens is, if he's still got his dribble, then he just dribbles over to the side. Cat comes up. Now they're caught in a switch, and that's the other problem. You've got to trap it, which means Jalen has to keep coming. You've got to get him to pick up his dribble. That's what you've got to do. As long as the guard is able to maintain his dribble, and see, the Celtics have the ability to switch 1 through 5. The Knicks don't.
Yeah, no.
That's the problem. That's why Boston can run that, because they can actually switch all 5 positions.
We can switch,
and get away with it.
We can switch 3. So McCall can switch.
Yep.
Josh Hart can switch, and OG can switch.
Can switch. Yeah.
Those 3 guys. Yeah. Can guard over their size.
Yeah, they can.
Because they're quick and they're fairly
and they're
long.
Big enough.
Right.
They're big enough and they're
athletic. Josh Hart's 6'4", he plays like he's 6'7".
No, he plays 4 inches taller.
Yeah.
He does. Yeah. I agree.
But man, it was tough to watch. And then all it takes is 2 passes to get an open 3 against the Knicks. Mm-hmm. Because this is another thing that Tibbs does that frustrates me. And I know the defensive principles that you talk about are the same ones I see Tibbs running, but I think he's got to adjust because he's got us packing in the paint.
Yeah. When
you got shooters everywhere.
Well, with the Celtics, because again, they're not every team can do this. Let's be honest.
But a lot of them have shooters.
They don't shoot as many or make as many. Sure. The Celtics, it's a volume thing with them. They have a number, 50. They hit it tonight, and they don't care if they hit 20. They'd like to hit 20, but they hit 17. That's enough to keep you honest. Where you've got to. You know what I mean? You kind of get caught in no man's land. Mm-hmm. That's the unique problem the Celtics present in this thing. And again, I don't think it sustains itself over time, and it's proven it hasn't. But Boston also plays defense, so when they have a night like tonight where they shot like shit, they can still lock you down because they have 5 guys that can switch.
But I guess
so,
the thing...
It's a tough problem. But to your point about Tibbs, they should be a step, especially when they play the Celtics. Because Porzingis, while he will roll to the basket...
Instead of a step inside the paint,
one outside.
maybe one outside.
I think you could get away with this because Boston wants the 3.
Mm-hmm.
So with them, the defensive principle should be on the help side. You take one more step away,
right?
Because you have to close that ground.
Yeah.
You still have to be close enough to help if the guy rolls. That's understandable. But if you're too far over, and Boston is when they do pass, they're an exceptional passing team. You won't recover.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are.
No.
You can be the Knicks.
No way.
You can be OKC. You can be Memphis.
Yeah.
None of them are going to get to these guys.
No.
So to your point, where it should be, all right, it's almost like the Jordan rules. Celtics rules are
we got to spread
on that imaginary line that I talk about, which is on it's the basket all the way down the court, the imaginary line. Where if the ball's on one side, the help side is on that line. You have to be on the other side of that line. Maybe you have 1 foot on it, but you're leaning out because you have to be able to close that ground. And fundamental principles, you're right. They don't. And again, the Celtics are taking advantage of that.
Yeah, exactly. And and I see a lot of teams do it.
Yeah.
And the problem to me is like a lot of times, the ball. Let's say the basket's right here.
Mm-hmm.
The ball's on that wing.
Yeah.
Brunson's the guy on this block, and his man's in this corner.
Yeah.
And he's in the paint.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is, even if that guy gets by, Brunson's going to do nothing to stop that guy. So cover your man or get it because you're 2 passes away.
I would
but
say,
in actuality, they make 1 and it's a 3. It's like
I would say to that, and again, it would apply to the Celtics and I don't know, Golden State maybe, because Curry will just chuck it from anywhere.
But because they pack in so tightly,
Cleveland.
So if you look at the
Cleveland's
Knicks,
adapted this style to a point.
Yes.
You have to be 1 step off that line.
For the Knicks, I think it's even.
Well, if it's the Celtics, it's 1 or 2.
It's 2.
Yeah, because
for most teams in the league now, I think it's 1 off. For the Celtics, it's like, dude, just fucking face guard your goddamn man.
Yeah, I mean, you'd rather give up 2 than 3, I guess, but I still think that's a recipe for disaster. Because if Boston ever grows a brain, it'll be a dunk show.
Well, it's just the thing I don't like is I don't know the stat, but I think if we looked up free 3 points percentage against, we've got to be giving up one of the highest 3-point because
you think in the league?
In the league.
So they do this to everybody. Not just
so many open. Yes, because it's so packed in. And again, the guys who are packed in don't even impact the drive. So it's like you're killing us twice. Yeah. Because even if they come to the lane, they're dunking on your little ass. Or you're not doing anything. And
it really depends.
I wonder if they have those stats.
And again, they're playing numbers too, because if they're looking at the 3 guys on the perimeter that are spot up, it's like, all right, who's the least likely to make this shot? That's the guy they're probably leaving, if I had to guess. Because that would be the smart thing to do. Okay. So.
Well, no. What I've noticed is that so Jalen Brunson, right? He's typically guarding somebody that can shoot halfway decent. Mm-hmm. Whenever his man is in a corner and he's opposite the ball, he's all the way in the paint.
Yeah.
So if 2 passes happen quickly, he can't get to the corner.
Yeah.
And a lot of time, remember the other night we were watching it, and Jokic made that remember he didn't square up and he threw it across his body?
Which was a hell of a... By the way, there aren't many guys that can make that pass, let's be honest.
But it just feels like every time with the Knicks, you make 2 passes and there's an open 3.
Yeah.
And guys in the NBA, wide open, can hit a fucking 3.
And I'm assuming because Jalen's a point guard, again, I don't watch them a lot, but
yeah,
I'm assuming that against the Knicks, the same. You're running a high screen and roll, and he's in it. And then, however the defense rotates, you're gonna, if you don't get in the paint, you're gonna kick the ball around until you find the open guy, because they're gonna have to send help with Jalen because they're not.
Holy shit!
What?
NBA team opponent 3-point percentage. Last in the league.
What is that?
New York Knicks. They give up 38%. They're the worst team in the league.
At it.
And I never saw the stat, but I watched the games.
Who's second? Or second of the ball?
Sacramento. Then Detroit. Then Brooklyn. Then Philly. Here, listen to these teams.
Yeah, not surprising.
They're terrible.
Yeah. The Knicks are the only one.
Well, Sacramento's not terrible.
They're terrible. Sacramento's pretty good. But
they're losing teams.
Yeah. The Knicks are the one with a good record.
With a good
that's
record.
in that mess. Again, it's you have to make a choice, Thibodeau, that you're going to help Brunson out where you're going to trap that screen. Because they're going to run it until you do it.
Right.
And this is the other thing. See, even if it's Karl Anthony Towns, and again, Kevin McHale was a great one-on-one defender. And it wasn't because he had quick feet. He had a wingspan like you read about.
And Towns has that.
And he knew how to use it where Towns clearly does not.
No.
McHale would cover James Worthy, who was one of the quickest first steps in the history of this game. I mean, literally one shot fake, one ball fake, he was by you. Worthy had an amazing.
So what would he force him into, like a mid-range pull-up?
He would use his wingspan, and I taught the kids this, 2 feet. The hand is under the chin.
Nobody plays defense like that.
No, but that's why defense sucks in this league, because they teach you backwards. Satch Sanders, who was the first great perimeter defender for the Celtics, 6'8". Scottie Pippen was 6'7". This guy was 6'8" back in the 60s. Okay? He taught me how to play defense like this.
Yeah.
And I've played defense like it ever since. I've taught every kid I've coached to do it. And the ones that listen and do it right, we are a lockdown defense.
But I think they also don't teach offense the same way, because...
They don't, because they're not used to seeing this. They're used to it the other way.
Because you told me a good offensive player attacks the front foot.
The front leg.
Right, so whichever way you're closed to, I'm going the other way.
Yeah, so you make a right-handed player go left.
And if you watch, I was watching the one-on-one, the women's league tonight, one-on-one. Mm-hmm. Every player was doing it backwards.
Yeah, they don't teach it.
And nobody was attacking the front leg. They were all, you know what I'm saying? Like
they don't teach it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And it's because everyone plays it the same way. That's the thing. They all do the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
It's like, that's why so many points get scored now, because no one knows how to play defense the right way anymore. And I don't know who started it. I remember the first time I saw it, and I was the head coach at Arlington, and one of my assistants who I'd hired, I knew him, but I didn't see him coach. I knew he had coached, and I knew him, so I put him on my freshman team. He was trying to teach the freshman girls this, and I stopped. I walked by, and I happened to see it, and I walked in, and I stopped his entire practice. And he goes, "We don't play defense like that here." And he goes, "What are you talking about?" I said, "That's not how we play defense." Well, I was taught. I don't give a shit what you were taught. You work for me now. This is how we play defense. And I showed him and the whole team right there. Mm-hmm. And by the way, that team went 14-2.
There you go.
And only gave up 36 points a game.
Yeah.
And all I did was teach them how to play one-on-one defense and help side defense, switch screens, because everybody plays everybody like the Celtics. What the Celtics are doing now, I was teaching 30 years ago.
Yeah.
At the AAU level, at the freshman level, the JV level, the varsity level, and every team that I ever coached defensively, you'd have a hard time getting to 50.
Yeah.
And they didn't do anything special other than the guy on the ball kept that person in front of him, and the help side was always there, so you had to throw skip passes over the top. And then once the ball gets picked up, they get in the face to make the skip pass harder. They don't commit fouls. They don't reach. They don't gamble.
Yeah.
And no one teaches that.
Yeah.
You want to know why defense sucks? Because no one teaches it the right way.
But offense sucks too, because people don't attack the front leg.
They don't. Gino Auriemma said this. They teach fundamentals better over in Europe than they do here. Here it's all about fast breaking, running, dunking, and shooting the three. Everything else has gotten lost.
Yeah.
The mid-range game, that's the lost art. Post game, if you see a guy post up, I actually stop and call him. Holy shit, look at this guy posting up. Oh my God.
Which makes no sense, because to me it's like...
You make the game so much harder.
Right.
It's so dumb. If you're 6'9", when I lit Travis Best up, who had a 12-year NBA career, he was 5'8", I was 6'4". I didn't try and dribble around him or shoot over him from the three. I mean, it was a give and go. Yeah. Okay, we called it the box series. It was box one because I was the point guard. Pass to a wing. Yeah. You go to the left like you're on a screen, then you spin back, and then I seal him and seal him right to the block. The ball's coming high.
Yeah.
I would catch it, no dribble, turn around off the glass. Boom. I can't tell you how many times in a row how pissed he got because he was too little.
Dude, but also it's like, growing up playing one-on-one, dude, my post game was crazy because I wasn't quicker than most guys I was playing.
You don't have to be.
Yeah, exactly. You once you turn your back to them, they don't know what you're about to do.
If you understand, and Kevin McHale is the reason I say Kevin McHale is the best low post player ever is because if you go watch tape of Kevin McHale, every single play in the half court of his career, he would come down, no matter what side, his bottom foot is on the block. And no one to this day understands the significance of that. When you know where you are in the court, you don't have to face the basket.
Right.
The bottom from the block means you can turn left or right. Kevin McHale did this better than, ask Charles Barkley about this. He would destroy Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley got so angry because he was 6'4" and McHale was 6'10". And McHale would just fake, turn around off the glass, and Barkley could do nothing about it. Nothing. McHale would drop 30 on his head, and Barkley could do nothing about it. And he's like, I can't cover this guy. Worthy couldn't do anything about it either. Like, no one could cover Kevin McHale.
See, and now, like, I'm watching Cat.
Who could do this, by the way.
Right, but
because he has the size, but he wants to shoot threes.
Sometimes he does it, but he doesn't have the ability to move people. So
they don't
a
teach
lot
it.
of times when people go small on us, it hurts us.
You know
because
why?
He fights them. He's fighting.
But here's the problem. He's fighting
too
up
high.
here.
Yeah.
What you do is you bend your effing knees,
Put
you
your
get
ass
in a
on.
defensive back stance, and you use your leverage, or you do what I would do against Best. I would go like I was going away to set a screen, and then I'd spin back and beat him to the spot. Once I got to the spot, he couldn't move me off it.
Yeah, don't start up here.
Don't start up here and fight with him. Go away like you're setting a screen. See, they don't teach this either. Larry Bird was great at this, off the ball. Michael Cooper and James Worth said Bird was more dangerous when he didn't have the ball because he didn't stand in a corner.
Right.
He would go and set a screen, and you'd think, and all of a sudden you turn your head, now he's under the basket getting a layup. Because you turned your head. And the second you turned your head, he stopped going and popped right to the open area. You couldn't take your eyes off Larry Bird. Okay? This is what they don't teach.
Yeah.
And if these kids stay with us next year, we will teach them this offense when they start to understand basketball a little more.
Dude, the other thing that drives me nuts is the guards don't know how to throw an entry pass.
Because they don't have post players.
The guards, but whenever I see somebody do post, the pass takes them all the way out.
Well, first of all, the post player doesn't give him a target.
Right. And doesn't
the guy
seal
with the ball, because the defender is guarding you, he can't see. All you do is ball fake and drop his hand. You can throw it over his ear and hit the guy right on the hand. Yeah. Watch Bird and McHale. The Celtics are the greatest half-court basketball team I've ever seen.
Dude.
Ever seen.
John did a ball fake bounce pass the other day
in the
game.
Did. Yes, he did.
It wasn't the greatest pass,
no,
but I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
He faked.
And then he did it.
Boop. Yeah, I was like, nice.
We have practice Wednesday night. We're going to work on that more because we have people open
excited.
and they know how to ball fake and set the pass up. They just throw up these lollipops and hope they catch them. It's like, I want to see ball fakes. I want to see. We're talking about the triangle. I learned the triangle at Don Nelson's basketball camp. 3-time NBA Coach of the Year, 8-time champion with the Boston Celtics. Yeah. He taught me about the triangle.
Yeah. Well, the other thing,
I learned it from him.
He made the ball fake. He made the pass, but it was like a soft pass.
Yeah.
It ended up becoming a turnover.
Yeah, well, he didn't put anything on
right,
it. You got to step. When you make the pass, you're supposed to step with that foot and put some spin on it so it comes up and sits.
I'm backwards, though, when I try to tell him.
Yeah.
It would be better
me because I'm a lefty because he has to learn to step through with his
left.
left.
Because I'm always stepping with the wrong foot.
Yeah, because he's got to step through with his left foot, which keeps the guy off him and then he can step through and just put the pass off the ground, which we want to work on that Wednesday night. But to his point, no one teaches this.
Yeah.
Everybody teaches the three. We were joking about Jaylen Brown last week. I'll bet he takes more threes per practice than free throws. Yeah. And it shows. Yeah. Like, they don't want to get to the foul line. They're afraid. Since when are you afraid to go to the foul line? People would kill when we went to put me on. I'll make two all day long. They call it a free throw for a reason.
Yeah.
So,
but it's also like feel of the game. It's also like I love making an entry pass to a big man. Oh. Or like if somebody would front my guy.
Go put in a tape. Go put in a tape of Hakeem Olajuwon. You want to see a master at work. Hakeem Olajuwon's footwork was fucking impeccable. Kareem Scott 15-foot sky up with his left hand. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, and then foot fake
the speed that Kareem could spin at and keep his balance was unbelievable. And it wouldn't even be to a dunk. It would be to a jump shot, a little teardrop like.
They had such touch. Robert Parrish, we call it the rainbow jumper. Robert Parrish would foot fake to the middle, go baseline, fade, and this thing would go out of the camera and swish. And there'd be a 7'2" guy trying to block it. It was like, what?
That's crazy.
I mean, Patrick Ewing had the same thing. He would turn to the baseline, and his shot would go out of the camera and swish. It wouldn't even touch the rim. It was like these guys had so much touch and so much, and they could drive the middle, spin back to their strong shoulder, and create. None of that's in the game anymore, and it's terrible. Now it's a glorified 3-point shooting contest.
And that's where they would back it. They take that deep dribble.
Yep.
And boom, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like
it's physical.
It's
like physical.
Bang,
and then it's like,
bang,
all right, now we're playing
right
basketball. And then it's like, and then the opponent's like, do we double? Where do we double from? They got to find the open guy, and the ball's flying around.
Double, it better be quick.
It better be quick, and it better come from the right. And like, this is what made the Celtics so great. And because the ball would never, it was like boom, 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 wide open, Ainge in the corner, boom, 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 burner. It was ridiculous. Like, so there was constricting styles, but when you're playing half-court basketball, if you have a size advantage somewhere, you have to know how to take advantage. Just go to it.
Yeah, just go to it.
It's not that. And again, people, that was never boring. That was fun to watch.
Yeah.
The problem was,
force the other team to make an adjustment.
The problem is there's a million guards and there's not a million big men.
Yeah.
And that's why they tried to phase it out and did for. I mean,
harder to find the big.
It's harder to find a big man. And actually, more importantly, it's harder to find the coaches to teach the big men. Because John Wooden's dead, Dean Smith is dead, Krzyzewski's retired. All these guys that could do this, John Thompson, they're all dead or retired. Yeah. Those guys are gone.
But then to find guys that big with that type of coordination, that is not a normal thing. I mean, that is...
We're looking at it now. Dirk Nowitzki had that kind of coordination, but he didn't have a post game. He had a fadeaway. Yeah. He had one move. But look what he did with it. He had one move. Imagine if he had 2 or 3. So it's like, this is where the game...
He had his version of the post game was that weird one-legged...
Step fadeaway.
Yeah.
Because he was 7 feet.
Nobody could touch it.
But it's okay. It was a post move.
Yeah.
I mean, but
he did it out.
Yeah. if he had a drop step with a jump hook with his left hand, oh my God, he
couldn't have guarded that either.
He couldn't have guarded that either. Like I said, again, that's why he only got 1 ring. Because he only had 1 post move. But he could have done that a lot more than, McHale has 3 rings because he had 50 post moves.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is the thing. Like, if you have that kind of size, you've got to develop a back to the basket game.
Yeah.
If you're 6'6" or above, you really should have a post game. Dennis Johnson was 6'4" and had a post game.
Yeah.
I would watch Dennis Johnson.
Jalen Brunson has a decent post
game.
game.
He kind of does because, his dad.
Yeah.
His dad was old.
I love a small guard with a post game. It reminds me of like Tim Hardaway. Travis Best, actually.
Travis Best.
Yeah, he had it. Me. Those little guys, they were tough.
No, but again, you have to have that because you never know when a guy's going to be smaller.
Yeah.
And generally, the rule of thumb is if he's smaller, he's quicker.
Right.
Usually he is.
Right.
So how do you combat that?
That's why I was getting pissed at all the big guys dribbling right by Brunson. I'm like, dude, if he backed you down, I get it. Don't let this man go right by you. You got quick feet.
Yeah. Well, a big man shouldn't go by him off the dribble.
Well, I mean, Tatum
is not
a little different.
Tatum's not normal. Let's be clear. Tatum's not normal.
But
there are guys like that,
God
and he's few and far between too. There's not Tatum is 6'10". There aren't many 6'10" guys with a first step like that.
Yeah,
let's be honest here. There are not. Cat's about 6'10". He doesn't have a first step like that. No, he doesn't. Tatum is at the rim in 1 dribble. Yeah. It's like nothing.
It's like Giannis.
Yeah, it's like Giannis kind of. Giannis just doesn't have a jump shot like Tatum does. But the thing is, like, if you're a big man or you're tall, you have to develop that part of your game because you can be a nightmare for defenses if you have that one aspect of it. Everybody can shoot the 3 now. Everybody can drive to the basket now. But the guy that can literally pass the ball, go away from the play, and then spin around and come into the post and just catch it and shoot it, that's a nightmare.
Yeah.
You can't defend it. You can't react in time. Because he just catches and turns and shoots. There's no dribble. There's no looking around. Mm-hmm. You catch it, you turn, you get to the bottom foot of the block, and you know where the glass is, and boom, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
And it's so easy if you just teach it. So that's where, when you have a tall guy like Cat Towns who does have the ability to do this, he's just got to stop fighting up high.
Technique. Yeah, he needs better
But
technique.
what he also has to learn to do, and I'm surprised Tibbs hasn't done this with him yet, because Tibbs did coach Kevin Garnett, who had a post game. Okay? He should get into the habit of passing the ball and just going away like he's going to screen, and then he goes to the spot. So it kind of gets the guy not ready for it. He's supposed to just try to fight a guy.
You either try to
10
front
feet
me
down.
or you get behind me.
Yeah, but either way, you can throw it over the top, and I can dunk it, or you can get behind me. Like you have to develop that, and the best way to do it is to give the ball up and go away from the play, and then come back.
Yeah,
and
that makes sense.
Really, nobody teaches it. It's rare when you see it, and so that's frustrating from the Knicks' perspective. The Celtics don't do this either, by the way.
Yeah.
They did it the other night when they came back and beat Philly. Tatum and Brown started posting up. That was the first time I really saw them do it.
Yeah.
Like, consistently. They did it. They chipped away. And I'm like, why the fuck don't they just do that every night?
Yeah.
Because you can. It's like, what the hell are you doing?
They can beat you so many ways.
They can. If they ever grew a brain and really studied, like, offensive basketball, like, they could be unstoppable.
But, the other thing I wanted to say about that game is, you made a comment that in a 7-game series, you only have to beat the Celtics twice.
Yes, and I still believe that.
And the Knicks can't beat them once. So it doesn't. If the Knicks' only chance to go to the finals this year is if Cleveland knocks you guys off. Because not saying it's a guarantee we could beat Cleveland, because they could beat us.
Cleveland doesn't have Tatum and Brown.
No, we have a shot to beat them.
Tatum and Brown are and should be the X factor in every single series they're in.
Dude,
because they're 6'7" and 6'10", and they can do everything.
Peyton Pritchard picked us apart.
He is the sixth man of the year.
In the pick and roll, it was embarrassing what he did. He didn't even pass it. He just followed it in, and then he was at the rim.
Yeah.
Oh, my
God.
God.
He's a basketball player. Like, you want to talk about fundamental. Peyton Pritchard is a great basketball player. He's behind Holiday and White. That's the only reason. But if he wins 6-man this year, he'll get his due, and he should win it because he's been the best guy.
There's nobody else close.
There's nobody else playing like him right now. And he had 26 the other night off the bench. Like, no, but they have this kind of talent, which is why they're so fucking frustrating.
Yeah.
Here's the silver lining for me. Cleveland, New York, they showed up. You know why? Because they respect them. Because they know they can beat them. Dallas at home, look what happened. This is why they have this. They just shut it off, and they think it's not going to matter. I got news for you. If you end up facing Cleveland and they have home field court advantage and you lose in 7, it'll be your fault.
Yeah.
Because it could have been avoided.
Yeah, because they shouldn't beat you.
They shouldn't, but you get a 7th game and it's not in your house.
Yeah.
Anything can happen in a 7th game. If you go to New York and New York, because they're only 2 games up on you. If you fall asleep and New York laps you or passes you, and you have to go to New York in a 7th game.
Yeah, they'd really have to fall asleep at the wheel for the Knicks.
They're only 2 games in front of them.
I know, but that's because
plenty of time for this to happen.
But that's because of all the losses to the weak teams.
Oh, they're going to play more weak teams.
Yeah.
There's still more weak teams on the schedule, Tom. I wish we were playing the Knicks every day for the rest of the season, but we're not. Okay, we're not.
I mean, so here's my hope: Knicks get Mitchell Robinson back.
He's still not back.
No, he's practicing though.
Okay.
Knicks get.
You
OG.
told me that. You did. You said he was practicing.
Yeah, he's practicing. Once they get OG and Mitchell back, then it'll be different. Because right now we have Precious Achiuwa starting.
He can't start.
I mean, look, he's a nice role player off the bench.
Yeah, he makes your bench deeper.
Yeah,
this, by the way, this will help the experience he's getting
I
now.
hope so.
That will help if they get healthy because your bench will be deeper for it.
He's had some great games, but against Boston?
Oh, he can't.
No. Like,
was he guarding Tatum or Brown?
Well, he
neither.
Was probably guarding Kata, and he couldn't guard him.
Oh, Kata's a problem.
I mean,
Kata's long.
Cornette.
Long.
It was funny. All the Knicks fans on Twitter are going, "How the fuck are we making Luke Cornette look like Dikembe Mutombo?" I mean,
go watch the tape. He's done it before.
The funny thing is, Cornette was a Knick,
and
he didn't play for the Knicks, but he's a key piece on the fucking championship team. So
last year as a starter, he started 5 games. As a starter, he averaged 17, 8, and 3 blocks.
Yeah, no, I mean he's a piece.
Now again, he's surrounded by that, but still,
he plays an important
17,
role
8, and 3 is nothing to sneeze at. No. So, no, they are. Again, when they show up,
Karl Anthony Towns,
the Knicks got to get.
He should be able to work against Luke Cornette.
Yes.
I'm not trying to disparage Luke Cornette.
No, he's a better player.
Right. He's a
Karl
better
Anthony
player.
Towns is an all-star.
Right.
Luke Cornette is a solid reserve player.
Exactly.
He's not a scab, but an all-star player should beat him.
Yeah.
On the post.
Yeah, and Cat was nowhere to be found in the first half of that game.
Yeah. When he, and again, this is where I don't know if this is Tibbs or this is Cat, but if you have that guy on you, and again, he is tall, don't get me wrong, but if I'm Cat, I'm taking him down low. Because if nothing else, I'm going to get to the line, I'm going to make my free throws, and I'm going to force them to take him out of the game. I'm not going to bail him out by shooting threes. Because that's all you're doing.
I think Cat sometimes pulls the guy out, tries to go by him.
Yeah.
The tough part is he's not explosive off one leg. So, when he's got a guy his size, that guy can throw his shit because he's only getting off the ground 3 or 4 inches.
He's not a one-legged jumper,
no.
is what you're telling me.
No. I mean, and he can dunk off one leg because he's 7 fucking feet.
Yeah.
And he's got long-ass arms.
Yeah.
But off the drive, he's not exploding. So a lot of times he runs into some guy's chest and he kind of throws a weak, and then should get that shit out of here.
I mean, if I'm... And he's not the only one. The Celtics also play good help defense. But But that's why you post up.
Derek White
because
shit like
that's why you post up, because you can make a move before the defense can react.
Yeah.
If you're taking the ball from the 3-point line, that's 2-3 dribbles.
Yeah.
The Celtics can get to you in 2.
Yeah.
They will get to you in 2.
Yeah.
So, whereas if you post him up and you make a quick foot fake and you shoot one up before they can get there with no dribble, you're going to get a clean look.
Yeah.
Or he's going to foul you, one or the other.
Yeah.
So, and then you go to the foul line. Which if he's guarding me and I'm your guy, that's how I play it. I would not take him outside. Yeah. Not against the Celtics, because they have such good perimeter defense. Yeah. I'd take him down low, and again, I'd pass away. I'm screening, then I'd get to whatever spot I'm on, and then I post up on him. And then when I catch it, it's 1 dribble max, and then I'm going up. Either way,
you really don't even need a dribble.
No, you don't, because he can step and make a shot fake and then spin the other way and use the glove. I mean, there's a number of moves you can make down on the block without taking a dribble. And foot fakes are great, because if you foot fake and ball fake, and I learned this from Bird, because Bird would foot fake and actually show the ball, and then the guy would lean, he'd spin the other way and shoot this fadeaway that at 6'10" you couldn't even get to. And it was no dribble. He would foot fake and ball fake like that, and he'd turn the other way, and it would go out of the swish. Yeah, he would do this. Like he would. It was my money move on the post. I would catch the ball like this, and I'd go like that. And the second they leaned, you got nothing negative about it.
Because now they're on your hip.
They're on my hip.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I hit that shot over a guy 6'9" once in a pickup game on the post, and he was like, "What the fuck was that?" I'm like, "It's called a fadeaway." You've never heard of one? Just like, because he was like, he thought, because I play guard, he's like, "What the hell's a guard doing with a fadeaway pull up from the block?" But that's called my dad, who taught me how to play basketball.
Well, plus when you're young and tall, you're a big man.
Yeah. Well, he was 6'9".
Right, but I mean, like when you're a kid,
yeah.
I'm sure you were on the block a lot as a kid, right?
No, from high school on, I was on the wing.
But I'm talking about as a kid.
As a little kid, I was, yeah. Until I was probably 10 or 11.
Yeah.
But I would also, my dad, because he understood I wasn't going to be 7 feet, he taught me how to dribble at 9, 10. Like I was dribbling like a guard when I was 9, 10, 11. Because he knew that, well, if he goes in the block, they can double team him. But what if he's bringing the ball up?
How tall was your dad?
5'11".
Jesus. So the height comes from your mom's side.
My uncles were 6'1" and 6'3".
Your mom's pretty tall.
5'7".
Yeah.
Which back then was very tall for a lady. So yeah, the height comes from your mother's side. And but he taught me how to play inside and out. And then when I started playing CYO, which was a travel team, he had me playing. I would play center technically, but against the press, because people would press us. Well, he taught me how to dribble, so we had 4 ball handlers out there. Do you know what this looked like? I'm like, oh my god, the center's going end to end. And we're like, what the fuck? Like this would destroy every press in the world. I would throw it in bounds. It was a give and go. I would throw it in bounds. They thought I'd leave. I come right back to them. We'll get it back, and it was 3-on-2. And it was a layup fest. It was a joke. And nobody could do anything about it because I was taller. I could go over you and finger roll it in, or I'd dish. And my guys made laps. My dad would teach us all those drills we do. We had guys that could do that. Yeah. So, but yeah, but again, that's positionless basketball. Meaning and I said this before, you've heard me say this, there's role players and there's ball players. A role player does well in a certain situation or situations. Yeah. A ball player, it doesn't matter what the situation is. The only question to the ball player is he taller than me or is he shorter than me? That's it. And that right there tells the ball player what he's going to do that night. Yeah. And that's the truth. Yeah. So one day, our kids, if they stay with us and don't quit, because I make them run suicides till they puke, when they talk back, they will learn this, all of them. Yeah. And we'll see what they do with it. Hey, man, that's going to do it for our show tonight, because we're both freezing our ass off. Can't feel my toes. We have no school tomorrow. And if it does really snow, we might not have school Wednesday either. Who the hell knows?
If it snows, they're not going Wednesday.
They won't, because the black ice is a real thing down here, because it'll freeze overnight, and they don't know what salt is. They don't pay for it. It's not in the budget. So, in any event, we will return probably Friday night. We will have the Lofies. We will have our first.
Are we doing the Lofi Awards?
Yes, we will.
Okay.
Yes, we will. We wait until the Super Bowl's over. So all of the championships for this past year have been won. So now before March Madness, we have a whole new set of Lofies to we'll have our first annual Lofi Awards. Law Dog will be here. It'll be Friday or Saturday. We'll figure this out. And then we will have our nominees, and we will pick the Lofies. We will vote on them, 3 votes. So we will have this. This is going to get heated. I mean, as steamy as the Lofies are, the heat in these are going to be some contested. I'm telling you, Nick Wrong needs to get an award. He does. But he's not wrong about anything he said tonight in terms of who else is a nominee. The nominees are going to be great. Yeah. And by the way, when you think back on some of these nominees, you're going to go, oh, yeah.
Forgot about that.
Oh, that's right, that motherfucker.
That was quite the loaf.
That was quite a loaf. So you will become well-versed in the art of the loafie, and it is an art form. Patrick.
Well, there.
Patrick.
There's 3 loafies.
See, if Tom Brady really wanted to fuck with you, but Patrick, whew, what the hell?
The thing is,
Do you smell that?
Dude,
Whew.
the NFL playoffs,
Loafy's over.
there's quite a lot of
There's a lot
nominees.
of- Mark Andrews. He's winning an award.
Yeah.
Has to.
He's got to get one.
He's got to get a Loafy. Well, we'll have him. Easiest catch. Dropped. Loafy.
Well, I don't
The
know.
dropped loaf.
Aaron Judge.
The dropped loaf.
Dropped loaf.
The dropped loaf.
Aaron Judge is up there, too, in the World Series.
I'm saying we could do it per sport. We could do one per sport.
We're going to have to think about how we do this, because the Loafy Awards does have to have categories.
It does.
Oh, well, so we're going to have Trophy Loafies.
Trophy Loafies. Fall Classic. Trophy
Right.
Loafies for the Fall Classic.
But maybe we have
NBA Finals.
Maybe
Nick
we have
Cron.
championship Loafies.
Championship Loafies.
That include the Lombardi Loafy.
Yeah.
The what's the MLB
World Series
trophy
Loafy?
called? What is that? Is that trophy called anything?
I don't know what it's
the
called.
World Series trophy.
It's just I don't know. Does it have a name?
I don't think it
I'll
does.
have to look this up. But anyway, we
We'll
will
figure it
have
out.
we will
We'll
have a
figure it
full
out.
slate of
Of
Loafies,
Loafies,
fresh Loafies, and the Loafy Awards will be Friday or Saturday. I will let you know. But Law Dog will be here. So until then, tomorrow's Tipping Back Tuesday. You guys get it done. Get it done. Football's over. Hey, you know what's ratcheting it up right now? We're ratcheting up to March Madness, baby.
Baseball.
Dude,
Dude, we haven't talked about WNBA.
We have to.
Players, the Fever
Yeah.
are going to be fucking tough this year.
Yeah.
They picked up two bigs
Yeah.
that are like tough.
Legit.
Like Caitlin Clark hating bigs.
Yeah. But they're on our team.
That said, fuck it, we want to win.
Yeah, I want to win.
But, well, I don't know that they hate it. I'm just kidding.
No, they hated watching those threes rain down at 25, 30 feet.
But, one of them, DeWanna Bonner,
Uh-huh.
she was on the Sun. She's
Female thug?
she's like a double-digit vet.
Okay.
And then the
You
other,
got to get some grizzled vets on
oh
the
yeah,
championship
and
team.
the other
Every
one,
championship has one.
the other big they got was like 17 points a game last year.
That's not going to
Out
hurt.
of the 4 spot. Still have Aaliyah Boston.
Yeah, at the 5.
They re-signed Kelsey Mitchell.
Yeah, they had to.
They got
They bring Lexi back?
Lexi's back,
Sweet Babu.
but not only do they have Lexi, they got who's the blonde from the other blonde?
The other blonde.
Real pretty.
From what team?
God damn it, where was she?
Didn't Kelsey Plum get traded?
She did. She's on the Spark now. Damn. With Cameron
We
Brink.
got to get a... Yeah,
A lot of movement has
lot of
happened
movement.
in the dub. It
That's
could be
interesting.
interesting.
Yeah, it will be.
And this year, Paige Beckers.
We'll get drafted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as she doesn't say fuck you to Dallas, which some people have said she may.
Dallas has that girl.
Enrique.
Yeah, her and Enrique could be...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But people have said she might not want to go. I don't know. Maybe that's just shit talking.
We'll see. Anyway, we will talk about this on Friday, Saturday. You guys enjoy the week. Get her done. For the Double and High Question One, Law Dog will be in the hitting next time we see you, boys and girls. You know the drill. And then some. Don't freeze.
Loafies.